All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Dragon Ball video, and we are here once again with some more official Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra character reveals and updates, courtesy of the official Twitter account, as you guys can see on the screen right now. Only 8 days left until the launch of this game. Pre-register here. If somehow you guys have still not pre-registered already, be sure to go ahead and do that because we want to lock in all of those rewards possible. Remember, 300 pre-registrations for that Daima Mini Goku on launch, which should be pretty easy because the two betas got a lot of positive feedback for this game, so I'm sure we'll be able to lock in that Daima Mini Goku, right? So I think it's actually 7 days until launch. The game comes out on the 9th if I'm not mistaken, and it is September 2nd right now. Oh, is this a video? Oh wait, oh, I can't hear. Oh, they just baited me. I can't hear anything. Why did they make this a video? This could have just been a picture. I don't know. Yeah, I thought that was going to be something important. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the official character trailers for these next two characters coming to Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. Peggy 12. So the first character that we're going to go over today is actually going to be Hit. And I got to say this before we even hop into the video, man. That prediction video that I'm going to link at the top of the screen right now that we did a couple of days ago is looking kind of spot on at this moment. Now, like I said before, there is a character that's kind of snuck into one of these trailers that hasn't gotten revealed yet. If he does officially get revealed before the game comes out, sure, I'll be 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 or whatever. But for right now, Hit, Cell, and this next character that we're going to talk about, we predicted all of these guys, man. Looking kind of good right now.
In all my years, I've never allowed a mark to escape.
This man Hit going invisible. Oh, nah, that's going to be toxic. Wait, what? Wait, hold on. Is this like a lasting solar, bro? His field of his FOV got tiny. Nah, that's terrifying. You kind of just gotta go hide if you get hit with this. Damn, cannon. Oh my god, doing Vegeta filth. Yo, he got him shooting at clones. Nah, that's sick work. Bro, I know that's gonna be so many people the first like week this character is out. They're just gonna be shooting at random clones hoping they can hit this fella. So Hit is gonna be a technical role character, which I assume that he would be a DPS. So I guess we were kind of wrong about that. But anyways, the concept for him is gonna read: a hitman who can blindside enemies with deadly attacks, disorient your targets with fear of death. So I guess that's what that reduced FOV ability was, maybe. Then approach sight unseen to finish the job quickly. So he's really gonna be moving like an assassin in the jungle, even though there's no jungle in this game, unfortunately. All right, so fear of death is gonna be his passive skill. Apply a debuff that shrinks the target's field of view. So yes, that is gonna be that effect that we saw in his gameplay. Fear of death will be applied when attacking an enemy hero who has not spotted you. Stacking fear of death will apply movement speed down to the enemy, and they will receive additional damage, while the cooldown for dimensional infiltration will also be shortened. So I'm guessing this is one of his later abilities that we'll get to in a second. So fear of death is going to apply debuffs that shrinks field of view, and they're also going to be hit with movement speed down and receive additional damage. So you're just going to be freaking invisible in the bushes right here. They're really pushing this bushwalkie play style right now, like it's Fortnite or something. Look at this guy. Look at this guy just teleporting all around you. So this is going to be his rush attack. Range increases during stealth or while in a bush and undiscovered by an enemy. Becomes a powered up attack if used against an enemy hero while in this state, warping you to an enemy hero's position and dealing more damage. So I'm guessing his attack radius grows if he's hidden. I'm guessing that's what that means. Yeah, look at that. That's massive. So let me see this while he's okay, so when he's not in the bushes, his attack radius is kind of like this, but when he's in the bushes, it's like this. Okay, relatively small normally, and then when he's in the bushes, it gets pretty massive. I'm not gonna lie, like look at this. That's actually kind of crazy. And then he just teleports to you. So his first skill is gonna be Death Blow, fire and energy attack that penetrates enemies and walls. So you can sit in the bushes, snipe somebody on the other side of the wall with his first skill 1. Yeah, that's crazy. If this effect is activated during stealth or while in a bush, the effects of stealth or the bush will remain. So you can just snipe somebody on the other side of the wall with this move. I'm guessing that's level 3 because that was kind of massive. That's got to be level 3, right? Yeah, that has to be level 3. All right, skill number 2 is going to be Vital Point Strike, a thrust attack. Generates a shockwave with the attack from skill level 2. Staggers enemy heroes who haven't discovered you when it hits. Wow. So if you use this in a bush, this isn't going to go through walls, so like the first attack. So if you use this in a bush or while in stealth, I guess, this is going to stagger enemies as well, and they won't really be able to react to where you are unless this brings you out of the bush, because he does like a little... Okay, it looks like it does actually bring you out of the bush. So while you won't be able to, I guess, stay hidden, it is going to get a stagger effect off, and that's a pretty lengthy stagger too. Oh my god, that's so sick, bro. Just that's time skip right there. So skill number 3 is going to be Dimensional Infiltration. Warp to a set position and enter an alternate space-time, granting buffs. Applies stealth and movement speed up to self while in the alternate space-time. These effects will be canceled if hit by an enemy attack or upon using a rush attack or a skill, death blow included. I'm trying to think of practical applications for this with the other moves in his kit. Let's see this again. So you're gonna teleport to a set position and you're gonna be in this alternate, you know, space-time universe or whatever. This is time skip pretty much, but the opponent isn't gonna be like frozen. They're just gonna have you're gonna have movement speed up and you're gonna have stealth applied as well. So this is gonna be you're gonna be in stealth while not having to sit in like a bush or a cloud or whatever. But this is gonna be canceled as soon as you use a rush attack or skill. So I'm assuming that this is gonna be most useful for like sneaking up and doing burst damage on people, because what you would ideally want to do, I'm guessing from just like, you know, first time seeing this, you want to engage with Dimensional Infiltration and then use his second skill, the one that staggers, and then I guess you want to finish your combo with Death Blow, and that's gonna be a ton of burst damage. And since they're staggered, they're not really gonna be able to do anything about it unless they're running the next character that we're gonna get into after hit. But right now, just off of first glance, that seems like a relatively optimal combo, especially if your lane mate is up with you. So until the game comes out and we can actually experiment with this character, that seems more or less like the go-to for hit right now, right? All right, and last but not least, his super attack is going to be Assassin's Domain. This is the clone move that we saw when he was fighting Vegeta. So it looks like this is going to put you in Dimensional Infiltration. Unleash murderous energy, granting you buffs. Applies fear of death, movement speed down, and obscured vision to nearby enemies, and applies same effects as Dimensional Infiltration to... Yo, hit is looking kind of busted, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So if the effects of Dimensional Infiltration are canceled, they will be reapplied so long as no actions are performed other than movement. Okay, I think he used his second skill and was able to get the stun right there. Yeah, that had to be what that is. And then Dimensional Infiltration is gonna get canceled because he used that. So this move right here, the super attack, it seems more like a utility type super attack more than just, you know, doing straight damage, which is still good because Hit has natural CC in his kit already. So you don't really need this to do the most. You can just use this as kind of like a distraction or something like that, and then hit him with your CC ability, and then just go to town from there with your lane mate if he's up, or just do as much burst damage as possible, because Hit is able to do, from the looks of it, a lot of burst damage too because of that skill too. Really interesting character, man. Hit might be the most used technical character on the game's launch, not only because of popularity, just because of how tricky he seems to be to go against, and he doesn't seem like a difficult character to get a grasp on and use either. So now we're going to be getting into our second character today, MVP 17. I told you guys the prediction video was spot on, man, at least for right now, because we're gonna see another character kind of get leaked in his gameplay here, and I'll go ahead and pause the video once we see him too. Okay, so it looks like 17 has a projectile. Obviously he's gonna have the barrier. I wonder how many attacks that barrier protects against. Okay, we're gonna stop right here. Just look at the screen right now, fellas. Do you see this right here? This ain't Android 18. That's looking like a Gamma right there. Gamma 1 in the cut. Hey, I don't know, man. He could get revealed in the next couple of days. He probably will, since they know that they put him in this Android 17 trailer. So expect a Gamma 1 reveal in the next couple of days before the game's launch. But if not, hey, my track record for predictions is still looking kind of good. So Frieza's about to launch the supernova right here, and I'm assuming that 17 is gonna barrier, right? That would be, you know, the only thing that makes sense right here. Yo, barrier blocking super attacks is fire, dog. I can't wait to use this on Spirit Bomb. Oh my god, man. Yo, 17 is already looking dope. And okay, so this is giving Gamma time to run away, even though it looks like the supernova landed right on him. But I'm guessing that once it gets negated by 17's barrier, it just becomes nullified all the way. Okay, no, he wasn't taking damage, so he was just running away scot-free. Okay, so I think barrier does just completely nullify an ability after it makes contact with the barrier. So 17 is going to be another technical character, and his concept is going to read: a loyal hero who fights while protecting allies with barriers. Take on anything with limitless energy as you lead your allies to victory. Now, is 17 going to see more play than Hit? Depends on how good he is, but just off of what we saw with Hit so far, I don't know, man. I don't know. Hit is looking kind of busted, but we got to see exactly what 17 is able to do. He looks, like I was saying before, he looks a lot more like a utility-based character than just, you know, damage kind of like Hit is. So his passive skill is going to be Infinite Energy Reactor. Use energy to reactivate your skills. Skills excluding super attacks can be activated while on cooldown. That by itself, this one sentence right here, skills excluding super attacks can be activated while on cooldown. I hope they don't make that a thing for too many characters, man, because this game is already chaotic enough. We don't need too many characters with an ability or passive like that. Energy used will be recovered over time. The more skills that are on cooldown, the faster your energy will replenish. Okay, the more skills. So, wow. So this is kind of incentivizing you to cycle all of your abilities as much as possible, because you have this passive right here that is going to allow you to use them while on cooldown too. And the more skills on cooldown, the faster your energy will replenish. That is actually, from what I'm reading right now, again, we have to see this in application, but from what I'm reading, that's a pretty cool designed ability right there. So his rush attack is going to say fire and energy blast. If it hits an enemy while they are transforming, it will interrupt their transformation. Yeah, 17 is all utility, man. This looks... Okay, Goku transform and just gets knocked out. So I already have a question about this already. So is this gonna apply any type of like cooldown, or I guess cooldown would be the best way to put it. Is it gonna put a cooldown on their ability to transform, or can they just spam it right away? Because this is gonna, I've said this before in some of my Squadra videos, but the way I like to use transformation in game, I don't like, you know, pulling it at random times. I see a lot of people do that, but the way I like to use transformation is I like to wait for them to do something of significance. Like say I'm up against a Frieza or a Goku or something like that, and they pull their Spirit Bomb on me. Well, I'm gonna wait for them to do that, and then I'm gonna enter the transformation animation. That way, I'm just completely protected. I just completely ignore their large super attack. And or I'll use it, say I'm in a one-on-one with an enemy and we're both, you know, we're just going back and forth and we're both relatively low on health. Then I'll pull my transformation, get my health back, and just put me at a in a super advantageous state versus my opponent. Now with Android 17 in the game with this ability with his rush attack, this is gonna kind of make a playstyle like that, or an application of a transformation like that, a little more tricky. Because he can just hold down the rush attack button while he's while you're engaged with him, and he'll just knock you out of your transformation back to back to back. So I guess when you're fighting an Android 17, you want to preemptively transform before you engage with him, because you don't want to get caught with your pants down getting knocked out of a transformation. And it looks like, I don't think Goku is stunned, so we don't have to worry about being stunned out of the transformation. That would be OD. So skill number 1 is going to be Barrier Ball. Kick a barrier in a targeted direction. Enemies hit by the attack will have their damage, defense, and movement speed buffs converted to debuffs. Effects diminishes over time. So this is going to be really helpful against characters. Matter of fact, 17 is actually going to be really good against Hit if this is the case. I wonder if Dimensional Infiltration has an interaction with this ability. Something we're going to have to test. If reactivated with Infinite Energy Reactor, the enemy will also receive additional damage based on the number of debuffs applied. At skill level 3, the number of barriers will increase. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see 17's kind of interactions with Hit. This is going to be really interesting to see. Skill number 2 is going to be Barrier Knuckle. That is his level 1 from DBFZ, if I'm not mistaken. So rush forward in a targeted direction and strike with barrier clad fists. Enemies hit by the attack will be afflicted with movement speed down. Effect diminishes over time. If reactivated with infinite energy reactor, an additional stagger will also be applied. So hit and 17 coming with natural CC in their kit. My goodness, man. My goodness, that is... Oh wait, let me see something actually. This reverses all of the enemy's buffs. And then skill number 2 applies movement speed down, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, skill number 2 applies movement speed down. If reactivated with infinite energy reactor, an additional stagger will take effect or will be applied. That's a long stagger too. That took a couple of seconds actually. So this is the skill that I really wanted to get into. Skill number 3 is going to be Android Barrier. Form a barrier to protect yourself and ally heroes. You and an ally or any ally heroes nearby will gain extra HP. Why is he healing off of the barrier? If reactivated with infinite energy reactor, oh my goodness, what's the additional effect? Oh, movement speed up will also be applied. Okay, so he's getting movement speed up from this. He's getting movement speed up from movement speed. Okay, so he's getting movement speed up from his barrier. Movement speed down is going to be applied from barrier knuckle, and he is reversing all of your buffs from the first skill. Yeah, 17 is an extremely utility-based character, and look at the AoE on this barrier right here. So anybody inside here, any ally heroes inside here are going to be protected by a barrier and get additional health. I don't know, man. I might have to play 17, bro. I like how much utility this character has, and he plays a lot differently from other characters that we've seen be released and announced in the game so far. I really like that. I wish they went into more detail about what types of attacks can be blocked by the barrier. Right now, I'm guessing just everything, right? But you would obviously want to use this more so to, I guess, to save a teammate that's really low on health, or against the really big super attacks like Supernova and Spirit Bomb and things like that. And Big Bang Attack, obviously. You know what? That would also be really good to use against, I forget what that move is by Vegeta, the one that kind of like sucks you into the center of it. That'd be a really good skill to use the barrier on as well. So a super attack is going to be counter barrier. Form a barrier to protect yourself and ally heroes while blowing up the surrounding area. You and any ally heroes nearby will gain extra HP. Applies no healing AX to enemies hit by the attack. The less total HP you have, the more damage dealt and the more HP received. So this is going to be pretty much the same thing as the last ability, but this barrier is going to do damage to enemies, and the more damage dealt, the more extra HP you and your allies receive. Yo, that AoE is, matter of fact, let me go back and see that again, man. What is the AoE on this, bro? Brother. Nah, that's just got to be like light effects, right? This inside circle right here is the true AoE, right? It cannot be this out here. That is absurd, my boy. And then it's doing damage too. Like if you get caught in this, actually that didn't do that much damage. That actually did. Maybe this one will do more. Let's see. Nah, that actually didn't do much more. So fortunately, they didn't make this guy just like a damage machine with all of this utility that he has in his kit. But I'm really liking Android 17 right now. All right, so these are going to be the 2, and if you want to count Gamma 1, 3 characters that were just revealed for Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra before release. According to the tweet that we went over a couple of days ago, there should be 2 more characters on the way, or I guess 3 since Gamma hasn't officially been announced yet. Or not, actually, Cell, Hit, 17, and then if you want to count Gamma 1, that's 4 characters. So 1 more character has yet to be revealed. We'll probably see that in the upcoming next couple of days this week. They'll probably announce Gamma 1 if he's set to be announced before release, and then 1 more mystery character that we don't know yet. I can't remember off the top of my head what role Cell is right now. Feel free to remind me down below in the comments. So I assume we're expecting either 1 more DPS reveal or 1 more tank reveal, depending on what Gamma 1 is, obviously. But anyways, fellas, that is gonna do it for today's video. I'm really excited about the game coming out in about a week now. Let me know down below in the comments, do you plan on playing Hit, 17, or somebody else that has yet to be revealed? Or are you waiting on these last few characters to be revealed before release to make your decision on that? Right now, I thought I was definitely going to be playing Hit on release, but man, 17 looks so cool, and it looks like he can really make some significant plays for your team. But anyways, fellas, let me know down below in the comments how you're feeling about Gekishin Squadra releasing in a little over a week now. But anyways, have a great day. I'm going to see you all in the next one. Peace out, my boys.